I get all sorts of variations.
Sure. Raheel?
Ray Hill. But my name's
I
actually...
went too Middle Eastern with it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like I have like my ethnic name, like Raba, like you're supposed to kind of like glottal stop it, but you're not getting Americans to say that. So it's just like Rawbuh is kind of Raba to get people. But yeah,
what is your ethnicity?
Dad's Algerian and mom's Mexican. It's a super weird mix.
Oh, interesting. I would not have guessed Mexican.
Yeah. But my name's Arabic. It means winner or champion.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Let's go. Send it. 3, 2, 1. All right, folks. We had to dig into the budget here to book such an incredible guest, but this guy is one of just the absolute killers in the space. I've been following him for an incredibly long time. Just a wicked smart dude, just running just incredible acquisition strategies for beautiful Original Grain.
Let's go.
They make incredible watches. Some of the stuff that you guys are putting out now is almost like proper premium, like because you guys have a spectrum of watches where you're in the kind of like a couple hundreds, but now some of these other ones are like, oh man, it's incredible. But Nate Lagos, like the toy, got it. From Original Grain, thank you for coming on the show, man. Yeah, like I said, you're one of my favorites, and I think you understand acquisition in a way that a lot of people don't. So I'm excited to jump in. But welcome to the show, Nate.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I was pumped when you shot me that text. So yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, amazing. So tell me a little bit about your origin story. How did you get into kind of paid acquisition? Let's start there.
Yeah, so I went to college to major in marketing. First marketing class was great. Learned the fundamentals, and I was like, this is the shit I'm passionate about. I love it. Second marketing class, and third and fourth and fifth and sixth, realized that school was not going to teach me what I needed to know to succeed in this industry. So I quickly started working for a startup in Greenville, Anchor Bat Company, this baseball bat.
Let's go.
Company here. That was my freshman year, and did free work for them for a long time, running paid and organic social, just Googling and YouTubing things when I didn't know how to do them. So it really just kind of got my hands in it as quick as I could. Post college, did the freelance thing for a while. Eventually became CMO for one of my clients' dugout mugs. We blew up quick. We were part of a lot of brands that blew up from 2018 to 2020. Hit Inc. 500 a couple times.
Let's go.
Partnership with Major League Baseball. It was awesome. And then 2 years ago now, left there and decided to start heading up marketing for a regional grain watch company.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, well, you left out your illustrious baseball career.
Yeah, played a little ball in college. Got the jerseys up so people
pitcher,
remember
if I'm not mistaken, right? You used to throw the heat.
Lowest ERA in NCAA Division II history. You can look it up.
Really?
0.
How many pitches did you have?
2. Fastball.
That's
slider.
it.
That was it.
That's it.
That was it.
Either the heater or the thing that just falls off the ledge, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I love that. How was your slugging? Could you hit or not really?
No, in high school, but college, just pitch.
College, people get into that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw 90 miles an hour for the first time, and I was like, nope, can't do that.
I would argue hitting a major league pitch is probably the hardest thing to do in sports, in my opinion.
100%.
Do you think that's off?
100%.
I think that's about right.
Yeah, when
all
guys
professional
talk,
sports.
Yeah, like when anyone is like, "Oh, if I had 100 at bats, I'd get a hit." No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. You might not run into one in 1,000 at bats. Like, it's a different animal. The ball moves quicker than your eyes can physically track it. Like, it's insane.
Well, especially when you get those big lanky people, right? Like the Randy Johnsons of the world, where they were doing the mathematics and like their release is so much closer to the plate than the kind of shorter pitchers. So it's even more exacerbated, especially if they're throwing heat, because you can't really, they were talking about like the reaction time versus the time that it actually gets there. And there's just, I think that's definitely the hardest thing. I would possibly put returning a pro serve in tennis is probably maybe on par with that, because you're getting $140, $150, but you can still quasi like get a little lucky with just getting it back
that racket's
there.
kind of big.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm not saying it'd be easy, but I think I'd be better at that than hitting a big leaguer.
Yeah, let me see. So 10 yards, or let's see, 5 yards rushing in the NFL, returning a pro serve in tennis, or hitting a major league fastball. I still got to go major league fastball, right?
Is the hardest, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. When you kind of developed your skill set, because I would argue you're in that kind of elite strata of marketers. Was there education, books, anything that really started to lay the foundation that really comes top of mind that you could give kind of up and coming marketers some advice on what to start to internalize to help build out their foundation to acquire kind of your level of expertise?
Yeah, I got lucky. I followed Gary Vee on Instagram in like 2015 when he was like putting out dope marketing specific content. And like that was huge. I read his book Crush It in college, which inspired me to start building a brand personally, inspired me to follow a bunch of people on the industry. So my first follows were David Herman, Connor from Ridge, Charlie T.
Another killer.
Powerful a bunch of guys that were putting out like real tactical advice about how to run this, and that was like it for me. Like that got me enough to get jobs and get clients and start to build up my own experience with all of it. And now that's what I try to do on Twitter, is be that resource that I needed when I was 24 and ran into a CMO job and had no clue what I was doing. Really would love to, just keep providing content that's going to help the next generation.
Dude, it's so much free game. Definitely go. What's your handle? It's just Nate Legos, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The original.
So much free grain. Freudian slip. So much free game there, and it's so well said. It's just so. Anyways, go follow him. I don't need to pump you up anymore. Go follow him on the Twitters. In terms of kind of, because I had the same evolution in where at the beginning I was doing a lot of spec work, where it was just like either working for free or working for pretty under market. But I really encourage people to do that, because I think there's a certain aspect of when you're inundated with solutions, but you don't have the problem, those solutions don't stick. But when you encounter the problem and have to go find a solution, then it starts to get kind of put in your arsenal. And I think there's a lot of people that live in theory land, which isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, but you don't want to stay there. Like, you want theory land to then inform the real world to start to see action. Like, I'm a big proponent of action breeds information, and you're very rarely going to be right all the time. And so it's great to just try it, test it, launch it in a way that is low risk. And that's why I like doing that spec work for either friends and family or low level clients, in the not low level clients like the business sucks, but low level in the sense of commitment. I think that's just such a great way to learn. Because the other thing that I really encourage people to do is at the beginning, if you can get into some sort of agency work. I think that I'm not a huge agency. I used to run my own agency. Agency life is really stressful, but man, you get to it's a PhD very quickly, especially if you can get involved with a great agency, because you just get to see the gamut of things. And the other thing that, and I think it's just your natural disposition, but being able to be client facing as well is huge. Like if you're super nerdy and stuff, there's nothing wrong with that, but the real crossing the chasm in terms of revenue generation is when either you yourself or the agency can put you in front of clients. That starts to get into some really interesting places really quickly, when you can meld the technical proficiencies with the client management. I think that gets into some really interesting places.
Yeah. And like kind of that, like starting to communicate more with CEOs and founders and owners, I think was big for my career, to understand what really matters. Because I do think some agencies, and I'm not talking shit about anyone specifically, but like they're very focused on their metrics, but their metrics aren't always business metrics.
So well put.
ROAS, click-through rate, whatever. Like, I know businesses whose ROAS and click-through rate are way better than us at OG. but they don't make as much money as we do. So
Yep.
I don't care. So yeah, kind of being able to see both the technical marketing side of it, but also how that affects larger business performance, really forces you to focus on what matters.
Dude, that's so well put, and such a really interesting point, because I think that's where a lot of marketing is going to end up now, even if it's with the agency, is being able to partner at an intimate level to be able to understand margins, profit. I'm a big gross profit guy, because if you get into net profit, you don't really control the OpEx at a company, especially from the agency side. And so you don't really want to be connected to net profit that much, because that's more business decisions, operations. But being able to pump up that gross profit is such a better way to live than just looking at top line revenue. Not that top line revenue is bad, but you don't want to sell these low margin products where you see all this incredible revenue, but nothing makes it down the P&L.
Yep.
No, that's so well put. What are you excited about in the marketing industry right now? Like, what gets you all hot and bothered? Are there any trends or channels or things that you're seeing where you're like, man, this is super interesting?
Yeah, so since the end of Q2 this year, CRO has been our marketing department's number one priority.
Interesting. Say more.
And it let me state, it wasn't before, because I'm not a CRO guy. I'm not a CRO expert. I know very little about it. I am great at acquisition advertising. So that's what I had focused on, really my first year and a quarter here, because there was a lot of work to be done on that side of things. Mm-hmm. We got to the end of Q1 of this year, and we grew profitably, and we were pumped. And then I looked at site traffic was up 80% year over year. Yep. And revenue is only up like 30%. And I was like, that's weird. And then we got to the end of Q2 and kind of painted the same picture, and we realized our conversion rate was down about 45 to 50% year over year. Wow. And the traffic sources were the same, still advertising on Facebook, Google, and YouTube. Yep. I was like, so I don't think it's all fake traffic coming in. Like, that's super interesting. So all summer and through this fall, we've been super focused on developing kind of extending our creative testing process from our Facebook ads into our site. Beautiful. And we have had a lot of wins unlock, honestly, in the last 30 days of just tweaking headlines, copy, and photos on our site, producing 20% lifts in conversion rate on different
That's not nothing.
Yeah. So it's helped a lot, especially as we're kind of moving into the gifting time of the year, where we're expected to do almost half the revenue for the year, from November 1st to December 20th. But yeah, CRO has been huge for us. We use a tool called IntelliGems for split testing. That's
Drew Marconi, right? Drew and great humans, great people over there. Love Drew.
They're awesome. His team is awesome. Hannah's our rep. She's fantastic. I'm not affiliated, invested. I don't get paid for this. Drew, if you want to float me a check, you can. But it's been such a great tool for us. It's been awesome, and I think CRO is going to remain kind of at the top of our priority list for next year.
Dude, I love that. That's fantastic. You ready to get a little nerdy? Let's jump into some OG awesomeness. I guess at the start, take me through Black Friday, Cyber Monday. When did you start the promos? How did they do? What did you take away from it?
Yeah, so I'm one of those hack marketers. We started on November 1st.
Let's go.
I put out a long thread explaining why.
It's really good.
But we've done it a few years now, and the story the data paints is really clear. Customers that buy from OG from November 1st through Thanksgiving have a 30% higher LTV than customers that buy Black Friday weekend. Gorgeous. So I think it'd be pretty dumb of me not to acquire as many customers as I can before then. So we launched the sale. Ours was up to 30% off. Most of the stuff on our store was like 20 to 25% off. We try to be pretty close to that. I think there's nothing more annoying than seeing ads that are like up to 80% off and everything's 10% off. It's super annoying. So
the like shaker bottles like 50% off. You're like, fuck you guys, come on.
Yeah. So we stayed pretty true to it. November from the 1st through Thanksgiving was pretty flat compared to last year. The big asterisk there is we launched with Buffalo Trace Bourbon last November 4th. which was still is like one of our biggest launches of all time. It absolutely crushed. So looking at the numbers for this year, it was a little hard to compete with. We launched a new product and sold $100,000 of it on like $2,000 in ad spend.
Yeah.
Like that's hard to replicate without another big drop. Yep. So kind of flat year over year. And then Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend crushed. Even though the sale had been live for 20 days, a lot of customers still waited. And we crushed all the goals we had for BFCM. So now year over year for the month, we're up like 20%.
That's sensational. In terms of magnitude, Black Friday bigger than Cyber Monday?
Yep. Black Friday was a big day. Cyber Monday was about 80% of it.
That's about what I see usually for proper businesses.
Interesting. That was high for me. I think we were planning on like 65% of it.
Yeah.
We did save a little bundle offer for Monday, so I had a little something new to throw out there. But yeah, really good weekend. Beat every day from last year. Beat our targets for this year. I'm very proud to say our forecast to actual, we beat it by 0.1%.
Damn, that's
so we're getting pretty
great.
Good at forecasting too. So that was exciting to see.
Man, predictability in a business is really that's pretty interesting, dude. That's some really high level stuff. Man, I love to see it. So tell me about the gifting vertical, because that is the one thing that is interesting because you have such an incredible high quality product. And to be fair, you're starting to now have a nice spectrum of SKUs where you probably can get people to buy multiple watches, but I'm guessing on the whole, people don't buy more than one or two personally, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So we tell me about your gifting strategy, because that's the unboxing. Oh, like the product's cool, incredible, right? But like the experience is just it's proper premium, dude. Like it feels awesome.
Yeah. The guys, the owners, the team have done such a great job designing the products and packaging, and the concepts of our products are phenomenal. So definitely makes it a little bit easier to sell them. But what did you just ask me?
What do you think? How are you approaching your gifting strategy?
Got it. So a lot of people are surprised to find out that even though we only sell men's watches, more than half of our customers are women. So it's really important for us to nail time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's most commonly a wife buying for her husband. So we see big spikes for Father's Day and Christmas. But yeah, it changes our messaging from the top to the bottom of our funnel for sure. Like all the CRO wins we've had in the last month has all been testing gifting messaging. We're going to have to retest and rewrite all those copy and headlines again in January, because we see much more kind of like self-consumption buying in quarters 1 and 3 than we do in quarters 2 and 4 when there's a big holiday. So yeah, nailing gift giving is like absolutely crucial for us. It makes the whole year.
Are you triangulating this through like post-purchase surveys, through like Facebook gender breakouts? Like, how are you understanding how people are gifting? Like, what data are you backing into?
All the above, post-purchase surveys, Facebook, and then we've got a tool called Good Segments too, that gives us a demographic breakdown of all of our customers.
Dude, I love that. One of the cool things that you do is you do some pretty great work on YouTube, and then you also have some of the creatives you've been cranking out have been insane. So take me through kind of how you think of YouTube as an acquisition channel, and then what does the creative process look like? Because I don't know if I've just been head in the sand, but I feel like the last 6 months or so, some of the stuff you're cranking out it's top floor, right? Okay, that's just not, that wasn't me being ignorant.
Yeah, no,
that's a legitimate thing. Okay.
Yep.
So take me through YouTube acquisition strategy, how you think of that, how you measure it, and then let's jump into your creative process.
Word. Yeah. So we sponsor YouTube influencers, and we track it very meticulously. It is our most profitable acquisition channel by ROAS, by percentage, by far. We're at November 30th today. Our YouTube influencers for the quarter are performing on average at a 6x Now, obviously, we can't push as much scale there as we're pushing on Facebook, but it's bringing in 6 figures of very, very profitable revenue. So what we do is we find creators that are creating content kind of that aligns with each of the niches that our products do. So our best-selling collections are made from whiskey barrel wood, guitar tone wood, military ammo crates. So we sponsor guys that do gun reviews, and we sponsor guys that will open a bottle of whiskey and talk about the tasting notes and discuss the history of the distillery that it was made at. We reach out to all these creators and we agree on a flat fee to sponsor 1 to 3 of their videos for the quarter. Send them a bunch of product and send them kind of high level talking points. I don't like to send them a script. I think listeners have become real attuned to when the ad starts. And they tune out or they fast forward through it.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. So I trust that these people have built an engaged audience because their audience clearly likes what they have to say. So I give them as much freedom as I can, other than you got to say, go to originalgrain.com and use our code to get, 10% off. So, yeah, and then we measure the results by code usage, which is a very narrow worst case scenario way of measuring it. That's how I like to make sure this program stays very profitable for us. And then we track revenue per 1,000 views on there. So kind of opposite of a CPM, RPM. That gives me a really good indicator of what I can spend on future influencer deals with creators within the same niche.
Man, that's brilliant. In terms of ad reads, is this beginning, end, middle?
Always first half of the video. I prefer as early as possible, but we've had videos that are a half hour long that the ad comes in at minute 9 and crushes still.
And still goes well. Okay, that's amazing. YouTube influencers, in the way that you've been doing it, has been the most, to your point, there's a certain aspect of a ceiling on it, but in terms of getting that money out there, because the other thing is just the awareness play. And again, B2B SaaS, there's actually brand awareness is an actual thing, because I came from direct response. But just the ancillary awareness, because obviously you need to track that DR stuff, but the ancillary awareness as well as, I think it's fantastic. It's such you've nailed the YouTube strategy better than anybody that I've seen. I guess you got Isaac, but he's doing Isaac and Tyler are doing
their
organic stuff. It's not necessarily sponsoring things, but I love the way you think of it.
It's crazy to me to know that our YouTube advertising budget never makes up more than 10% of our advertising budget. But it's still the thing that everyone I meet says, "Oh, I saw you guys on Chris D'Elia's podcast.
Yes.
Oh, I saw you guys on the Whiskey Tribe YouTube channel."
Yes.
And I'm like, it makes up such a tiny percent of our ad spend. But at my last brand, I done deals with John Boy and Barstool, and that's where everyone heard of us. And I was like, I spent $6 million on Facebook ads last year. You guys didn't hear about me from that. You guys heard about the 10K deal I did with that YouTuber. So that awareness is super real. We just like to kind of look at the direct response of it to make sure it's bringing in money now.
Man, I love that. Okay, tell me how you leveled up the creative. Because to be fair, the old creative wasn't horrible, but no,
it wasn't.
This new stuff is just it's another world. It's a different realm. So tell me kind of what that transition looked like. If there was different resources involved, briefs, how did you think of it? Because would you do a Toyota one that was just insane? Some of the Buffalo Trace stuff was really high. Some of the stuff was exquisite.
Yeah, thank you, man. Our creative team's done an amazing job with it. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, great. You're getting a little bit blurry on my end, but
okay. It should be okay.
If we're good, cool.
Okay.
The creative team's done such an amazing job, and has significantly leveled up in the last 12 and 6 months for sure. We actually just looked at a shoot we did 18 months ago. Yeah. And we were like, wow, we can't believe we put that out. It's at such a different level today.
It really is.
So that's kind of started with, we had our former creative director had left a few years even before I got here to start his own creative agency. And we still relied on him for a lot of our creative. And he continues to hone his craft and hire talented people. So he's been awesome for us. And then we had hired a creator full time about a year ago, who's a little bit less experienced, but he's really hungry and like really willing to learn. And one thing that we've done this year that's been a huge unlock for him is have him go to shoots with kind of other more seasoned creators, and just be a sponge and absorb, the different tactics and lighting techniques they're using. And man, he's grown so much and gotten so good at what we're asking him to produce for us. And it has been more than worth it, from we're using that content from our ads to our emails to our site. At the end of the day, like, we are a fashion piece. No one wants to wear a watch that's ugly. So the better that we can show off the details of how our products look, the better performance has been. And I like to say, like, I know how cool our watches look in person. We need to get how they look online to be as close to that experience as possible. So we're going to continue to invest in him and invest in creative for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's to your point to the, I think maybe that's where is popping out for me as much too, where you're getting almost closer to that luxury watch feel, especially with like the details and the photos and just the lighting and like, nah, man, you guys absolutely nailed that. Speaking of in real life, do you guys you're not in retail yet, correct?
No, we had a pretty sizable retail presence pre-COVID.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Belk and Macy's and everything.
Really?
Yeah, and it never went great. Like, we were in there, we did all right, but it was never fantastic. I think our watches are so unique from like what the average person is looking for out of a watch.
That's
I think it takes some education. I think it takes the right person looking at it. I like to say the guys that we're selling watches to are not going to Belk and looking at the jewelry counter for a watch. They're at the dive bar. That's a really good way to put it. Drinking a bourbon while their wife is shopping. We found success online for now, and don't have really too many plans on going into retail unless it's like a real niche pop up, like maybe a collab with the right brand. But for now, we're happy staying online.
I love it. One more random question. How do you like to structure your Facebook campaigns? Are you a cost controls guy? Do you like ASC, lowest cost, broad? Like, where do you land? And let me caveat this too, where I kind of I just kind of tease a little bit about cost controls, but I think the best philosophy that people can have is do what the ad account likes. Like, at the end of the day, you're there to make money for your client or your business, and you don't need to get caught up in dogmas. But I just like always to hear perspectives of how killers are structuring and running their accounts.
Yeah, the arguments online about are kind of nuts.
It's like, almost parody at this point. Or you're just like,
well, and like here's my thing on it. I don't think anyone online is lying about
me neither.
What they're seeing. So it's like, listen, all these people are pushing what they do because it's brought them some level of success. So I like to tell anyone who's like, who should I follow on Twitter? I'm like, follow everyone on Twitter.
Yeah.
But make sure you have a process and a system to filter out what might work for your brand, try it, test it, and then double down on what works. So I'll say that. With that said, my spiel is we run broad targeted, highest volume campaigns. We separate them by collection. So like I mentioned, our product line is like fairly diverse. It's a different customer persona, buying the whiskey barrel watch versus the ocean plastic one. So we separate by collection. We also have campaigns separated for that gifting audience as well. One ad set in each. We load up new creative once a week. We only make changes to our Facebook account on Tuesday. Turning off old creative, launching new creative, and tweaking budgets. We do that once a week. And then how we've been measuring success this year, it's been really eye-opening. We look at Facebook, we look at Triple Whale, but we also have a spreadsheet where I track what we call real ROAS. So I spent $100,000 advertising the Whiskey Barrel collection. We made $400,000 from that collection. That's a good week. That's a 4 real return on ad spend.
I love that.
Given that's like where 90% of our advertising is going, I'm more than willing to attribute most of that to Facebook. The only time we'll take out some revenues, like if we have a big drop, Where obviously email and text is involved. But looking at that number has made our decision making a lot more stable, and with our inputs being more stable, our outcomes have become a lot more stable and predictable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you said 0.1% into the projections. That's insane. Last question. Are you guys ever interested or going to do over the air or linear TV? Does that ever make sense for you guys? Or not really?
I don't know. I evaluated it at the end of last year.
Okay.
I was planning on looking at it again this year. To be honest, I think we're so far away from like the ceiling of Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can 10x our spend before, like, I think we need that kind of like national broad awareness. So I'll take a look at it. You know, if a price is good around a certain event, like maybe, but
try it.
I don't think it's going to be a big part of our strategy for a while.
Yeah, no, that's really well said. I'm also of the belief that the thesis of you can get to some pretty high revenue targets with, 2 channels or 3 channels, whether it be Facebook, Google, YouTube, or some sort of thing because the other thing that you get into is it can become a distraction and take away from the things that are printing you money. So I think that's just a really, really amazing way to look at it.
Yeah, we went through that with TikTok last year.
Yeah. Oh, we
spent $100,000 in 6 months trying to make it work, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And then finally doubled down on Facebook and making creative for it and new offers and LPs, and found much more success there than we ever would on a new channel. And I subscribe to I think Sean Frank from Ridge says it all the time. He's like, if you can't get to 100 million a year on Facebook and Google, it's not because of your advertising. Like it's a product thing, it's a brand thing, whatever. So that's what we're going to stay focused on.
No, that's brilliant. No, I love Sean. He's such a troll, but God, he's so damn smart. I love that guy.
Goat, though.
He is the goat. Yeah. He's in Austin. Sean, let's hang out. You fuck. You ready for the Firmat 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Oh, I see you have the LD. How much did you love that?
The Billionaire?
So good.
Dude,
so good.
Like, I love their response to it. I'm still mind blown at like who at Arnold Palmer's estate thought it was a good idea to try to drop a lawsuit on. Like, guys, come on.
You guys got all this money. What are you doing? I did. I totally. Yeah.
So I'm happy with the change to Dead Billionaire. I like it.
So good. Liquid death. They don't miss. Okay. First question. If you had a superpower for a day, what would it be, and how would you use it to make the world a better place? Easy softball.
When Jesus was pulling out like endless loaves of bread and fish and fed everyone, I'd choose that for a day.
It's kind of gangster. That was a quick G response.
Yeah,
I love that.
That was a good one.
What's the most hilarious or memorable bucket list item you've ever checked off?
Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh. You're fast.
I've got it. Might get me canceled. There's video out there of me doing stand-up comedy and a rap battle in college. For the record, I won the rap battle. Got $50.
Let's go.
Said some things I wouldn't say today, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, but, it's different times, different era.
It's 2015.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's pretty strong though.
Yeah, that's fun.
Stand up and rap battle. I love that. Yeah. If you could create a new holiday, what would it celebrate, and how would people commemorate it?
I'd love a holiday around just doing nothing.
I don't hate it.
Like I don't hate it. So many of our holidays are associated like with like seeing family or traveling or fireworks or swimming or whatever, and I'm just like, can we just get a day to sit on the couch and watch TV? I would love that for like a week. Would be nice.
The Lagos layover. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I like that.
I'm surprised you didn't pick a jorts-based holiday, but maybe we could put it in where you fold in where you wear jorts.
Well, I celebrate that one every day, so
that's fair. There you go. That's a perpetual holiday. Yeah. I love it. If you could swap lives with someone for a week, living their experiences and seeing their world, who would it be and why?
My dog. 100% my dog. Dude, my dog lives.
These are
the
supposed
best
to be
life.
hard questions. You're killing me. You're just slaying this.
Dude,
oh my God.
Dude, my dog gets tucked in every time she lays down in our house. She gets fed snacks and treats all day. She hikes every day. My dog lives the dream, dude.
Oh, I love that. What's your dog's name?
Haley.
Haley is a beautiful name. Shout out Haley. Man, you're slaying this. Okay, last question. This is the easiest one of them all. Best MLB pitcher ever.
Gotta be Mariano Rivera. It's the closer for the Yankees.
Yeah.
And threw one pitch for 20 years.
Yeah.
Threw a cutter forever, and everyone knew that was the pitch that they were getting thrown, and they couldn't hit it.
They still couldn't do it.
So yeah, the GOAT.
Yeah. And he won a bunch of championships with the Yanks too, right?
Yeah, I think he's got 5.
5, yeah. That's insane.
Nuts.
What an incredible sport. What an interesting sport. Nate, I knew you were going to blow my mind, and you absolutely delivered. How can people get more involved with Original Grain? Where do they buy a watch? Where can the wives, girlfriends, partners gift the watch to people? This time's yours, my friend.
Yeah, originalgrain.com. If you use code Lagos, you might get a little extra deal.
Let's go.
I don't get commission on it, but I created a code for friends and family, so check it out.
Let's go.
And then follow me on Twitter at Nate Lagos. Potential podcast coming out next year with a killer co-host.
Keep me posted.
So very excited about that. But yeah, other than that, Twitter, LinkedIn, hit me up.
Yeah, your videos have been really great. I really enjoy those. What's your Twitter handle?
Nate Lagos. NateLagos.
Easy peasy. And then, are you still doing any side consulting stuff, or you're booked up right now?
We'll see.
Okay,
hit me up.
Well, yeah, hit them up. Well, you guys can explore it.
You never know what the future holds.
You never know what the future holds. Nate, you're the best, man. You're just such a fucking killer, and I just love chatting things with you. And I think the way that you see marketing business is just absolutely top floor. So thanks so much for taking the time out to come jam with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. All right, folks, that's all we got for you. This podcast was brought to you by the company I work for, firmatcommerce.com. You can go to firmatcommerce.com to look and see all the awesomeness we do. We help you make optimizations to your customer journey. So the customer journey is comprised of 3 things: offer, landing page, and creative. So we don't necessarily help out with the creative part as much. You bring that to us, but we help you craft offers and landing pages, advertorials, quizzes, whatever you need. We can help you make the money printer go burr. So go book a demo today, firmatcommerce.com. And we have
for the record, I had my demo this morning.
Oh, you did?
Very interesting. I think it could play a big part of our CRO strategy for
very aligned with your CRO strategy. I think could be really interesting. See, go follow the man, the myth, the legend. That's not even a
paid endorsement. So there you go. Yeah.
There you go. We're just people helping people. Yeah. And Geometry of Growth. Go check out our newsletter. We send it out every Friday. Has a bunch of awesomeness in it. You can just go to firmatcommerce.com to subscribe right there. Go follow Nate. If you're watching this, go buy a beautiful watch. I'm holding my beautiful Original Grain up. They're really stunning, actually, and the unboxing experience is incredible. So they make great gifts. So go buy all the Original Grains. And then Nate, again, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Go follow Nate. Go hit him up for some consulting if that is your thing. He is absolutely top floor operator. Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, that's it. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.